Hey everyone, I hope you're well. It's me again today. Okay, so um I just want to talk about something um and that is about gender preference when it comes to having children. I don't know if any of you have um maybe one gender, so if you've got multiple kids and they're all the same gender, and then everyone keeps bugging you that you need a different gender. So as an example, say you've got three boys or two boys, and then people keep telling you, oh, you need to have another child, that has to be a girl. Or if you've got two girls or three girls or more, and then people saying, oh, you need a boy, you just have to have one boy. It's not the end. Don't hang your boots yet. You need a boy, you need a son. And I'm like, right, so if you're one of those, then I think this video is for you. I think it's for everyone, actually. Now, personally, this is just one of those things that I've thought about in the past, even before ever thinking of making any video on YouTube. And people closer to me would have conversations around this. So I'm not doing it from a place of this is happening to me. That's why I'm saying this. I haven't really had anyone around me really bugging me to have a son. I've got three girls, beautiful, blessed, lovely girls. I haven't really had anyone bugging me to have another child. Maybe they say it behind, but not to my face, thankfully. Um, but yeah, so that's not the case. Not like I'm making this video because I'm reacting to something or I'm under any kind of pressure. I just feel like this is a situation where many people are in, and so it's good to talk about it. First of all, we are shaped by our culture, and culture is just simply defined as the way things are done around here. So I'm African, I'm Nigerian to be precise, and I think it's common in most African countries, not just Africans, but some Asian countries as well, where the male child is preferred. And that stems from a history of, um, you know, um, men being, the leaders, being the head, in terms of um, the family being secured, because there's a son that would direct and lead, and then probably inherit whatever the family has got, with the mindset that the girl child would eventually be married off and would have a life somewhere else with the son. It's common from people, common amongst people from African descent to kind of, you typically would find a family, for example, when you see a family where there's like seven, eight, nine, 10 girls, it's not just that the person is just giving birth for the sake of giving birth. They are looking for something. All right. Or maybe even seven, eight, nine boys. Then there's a question here. The mother is looking for something, maybe another gender, but it's still more common. You would kind of have someone that has five, six boys, and just kind of give themselves rest without people bugging them, than having someone that has many girls, no boys. So the pressure is always on the man. Oh, I'm Yoruba, so Southwest Nigeria, um, and where you would find them. We use the term arole, which is arole. I think is coined from the king's hair. That's what it means, the hair to the throne. All right. So they'll say, you haven't given birth to arole, meaning the one that would stay behind and kind of inherit the throne, that would stay back. The girls would go out and all of that. So, and I kid you not, and I'm sure most people can know this. This has handed so many beautiful unions just because maybe the girl doesn't have a girl child. This has made women even go to desperate things like, even getting themselves involved in stealing babies. Yes, just because they want to give a son. So there have been stories we've heard, facts, yeah, some verified, where in hospitals they would exchange kids just to give. I mean, just because you want to have a son, then you'd rather bring a bastard, like someone else's child, into your home. You know, people has gone as far as even manipulating it, through kind of, traditional means. And, I've heard of people even drinking all kinds of herbs, even when they know that maybe the child is maybe a boy, and that will change the gender and all of that. So, and no wonder sometimes we have a lot of men that are very, very feminine. I'm not saying that's the case with them, but true to it, some of these things have been attempted. Attempted gender change has been done when they were in pregnancy. Not all of them, but for some of them, you know. So, and I like culture. Everyone, anybody that knows me know I'm proud of where I'm from. That's why you would see my accent is still what it is, despite many years in diaspora. I'm not one of those people that will speak and you can't hear me. I know I can do code switch when I'm amongst, certain group of people. I know how to speak, but I love my ancestry. I love my heritage. I love Africa. I love Nigeria. I love Ekiti State, right? However, if a culture doesn't serve us anymore, I think, people should have a rethink. Albert Einstein said a definition is one of my favorite quotes. One definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome. So, if all this thing about, oh, you have to have a son, the world is changing, the world is evolving, right? We are not the ones creating genders. It is God that gives children. I believe that. And most of these people that engage in all this nonsense, I always say it's because you have a child in the first place. Some people that are desperate to have children and they can't, even after many IVFs. Some people have had 10 IVFs, it's failed. They won't be saying, oh, I want a son, no, or I want a daughter. Just any child, right? So it's usually those that just give birth freely without any stress. They're the ones that always say, as if you're creating it. And don't get me wrong, like I said, we are all products of culture. I too had kind of advised a friend when I had my twins. I had the first pregnancy, and the children we had were a set of twins, two girls. But even at that point, I was just 100% confident that the next one was going to be a boy, because I'm a very spiritual person. So I believe that me and God, we've settled it. Like, okay, we've started with two girls, then we have a son, and that will be it. So that's my faith. Give me a bit of arrogance. Like, it's going to be the way I call it, commanding those things that are not as if they are. And guess what? I was shocked. I had a second pregnancy and it was a girl, And it was at that point I just settled. Even when they told me I had this kind of, told me it was a girl, I prayed all through the 9 months for asking God to change it. So I'm guilty of these things, I prayed. But when I gave birth and they said, oh, it's a girl, I just accepted. And at that point I had peace. And not one day did I wake up thinking, oh my God, what's my future going to look like? I don't have a son. Should I try again? Me that had multiple pregnancy without anything, like just like that. And it's runs in my maternal side. With my mom's family, they have triplets, they have twins. Even my husband's family, they have twins. And I'm like, if you go want to punish somebody like me, get pregnant again, you get 3 girls, what are you gonna ball on for? Google and translate it in English. So seriously, I kind of rested, and not one day was I agitated about my future, because I have 3 girls. So I kind of focus my energy of raising them intentionally. I mean, my father of blessed memory, God rest his soul. My father raised me in such a way that I never have to question why I'm a woman. I'm not a feminist, whatever feminine definition, I don't know, whatever definition, I mean, that you give to feminism now, like to the extreme. I'm not a feminist. I love, standing for the rights of women and all of that. But I'm not one of those places that would, I'm not one of those people that would say, oh, we are women, women can do better. No, I'm secured in my place, I'm okay, I understand my place, like as ambitious as I can be. I also love to be, a home keeper and look after my home. I love it. So I know God has made no mistake with the gender. So that feminism to the extreme, I know they're that table. But I love to support women and to inspire women. And I believe that's why God has given me the opportunity to bear three girls. But I go back to my dad. My dad raised me, equally as the same way he raised my brothers. I grew up knowing if he gives us money for anything, pocket money or anything, it's the same amount my brothers get that I get. Same amount. So the extra I would need for maybe personal hygiene or whatever, or stuff or whatever, or clothing will come from my mom. Everything is equal. And I didn't hear anything in my home that sounds like, oh, you are the girl, you go to your husband's house. That actually comes from my mom. My mom is the culprit on that one. She's the one that always remind me about husband's house. But my dad, he raised us all the same, the same. So I I didn't grow up, feeling inferior. The kind of shock I get when people make kind of try to put me in my place like, oh, you're a woman, is when I started mixing with people outside. I'm like, so this is how they raise, they are doing your own family. In my family, no, like my dad raised me to be, a strong woman, a strong girl that can stand up for herself. So when I started hearing that some girls were not given proper education or the opportunity to go to school, and it was only the son that was schooled, or their dreams were limited. I'm like, really? Jesus Christ. So with all the privilege I have, knowing that a woman can be anything, I will not be quiet. And I have three girls, and then you see here people saying, no, don't rest too. I even had someone tell me, that was when my kids were still young. She was just, we are all products of this culture. She also has three girls and then a son, and she was deliberate and intentional before she had it. So I understand where she's coming from. It wasn't from a bad place. She was just saying, you better try, do it again, get pregnant again, and have. If you don't have it now, you regret it in the future. And I was like, regrets. She know you're wrong, again, Google that one. Just basically, I'm saying, is he on this matter really? You know, I mean, I've seen people say all sorts of like Jesus, but I thank God. Maybe in the media, you don't know. Again, Google that in English. Basically, it means that maybe I'm the one that is not. I don't have shame. I'm not thinking. Not one day have I woke up from my bed and say, oh my God, see my future. Ever since I had my third girl, I gave myself rest. Now, I think people should concern themselves about raising kids intentionally. A lot of people, they are just seed sowers. Most people are not good parents. I'm not giving myself a pat on the back to say I'm the best parent. I'm work in progress. Me self, I signed up for parenting class last year. I spent 500,000, 500,000 on parenting class, and I'm still going. And I don't even attend all the time. And I'm not even boasting to say that I know it all. I'm still asking for the grace of God to help me in this journey. That is how intentional everybody should be in raising children in this world that we are in. Resilient children, understanding them. Now, somebody that doesn't have any knowledge or anything about what it means to raise children, you are chasing boys up and down as if that will be a feather to your cap. And the Bible, I'm a Christian, by the way, so the Bible, we have references. I think there was a woman in the Bible that was this is not good because I'm a Bible study teacher. I've forgotten her name for a second, but she was Jacob's wife. I've forgotten the one that the senior sister. Again, culture. They forced Jacob to marry the senior sister because they feel the senior sister had to marry before the younger one, and she had like 10 sons. Even one of the sons' name was like, when she had the son, I will give him what Hebrew name like that, and said, now my husband will love me. So women have been doing these things for ages, that they will use children to buy love. Guess what? After she gave birth to that one, the husband still didn't love. It was Rebecca that he loved, and Rebecca that had just two sons, I think, for Joseph and Benjamin, for him. So your son will not buy your husband. The person that the husband will cheat will still cheat. Even with your son on top, triple boys, that doesn't mean that he will not have a son outside. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not being stupid here. Does that mean having a son is not worth it? No, I'm not saying that. I believe in procreation. If you have the means, I always even advise people, if you have the means, have children. The world population is diminishing. We need people on this earth, So that's procreate if you have the means, not just finances, but this mental capacity, the mental strength, the emotion, the integrity, the character to raise them aright and make them good, people in the society By all means, the world need you, the society need you. Have the children. Don't be listening to other people that will say only two per family. It's a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Have children if you can, as many as you can. Even if you have girls and you're like, I want to have boys, have it. But if your motive or the intention behind it is so that they will now respect me in the society, the reason you are going to get pregnant to have son is so they will now respect me, or so that in my husband's house, so that my leg will stand. Who told you your leg will stand? It's only the person that God says their leg will stand is the leg. Who knows tomorrow? It's only God that knows tomorrow. We can only plan, and plan for the future. Raise children that will be responsible children in the society. Raise children that are resilient. Raise children that can look after themselves. Raise children that have compassion, empathy, that would be a blessing. That's what, regardless of the gender, you know, raise them. That's what is important. And then leave your future in the hands of God. The world is evolved. Some people talking about names. Oh, family name. Oh, please, family name. If it's name that is your problem, people now have, they call it double barrel names now. Dual names, so you can join your maiden name. I even know a beautiful couple, and that the wife took her father's name and the husband's name, merged it into one. I don't want to mention it because they are quite popular. The husband also adopted the same. So both of them, Mr. and Mrs., are bearing both of their parents' name, and their children will carry it on like that. The world is changing. Or is it not in this world that even your child can wake up tomorrow and change your name? Yes, your name. I refuse to bear that your name that you want to kill yourself over, and change it to another name. So what is important is not all this gender, all these names and what have you. Some will say all these words I have, I can't, it's a male child. Who says? Learn from, I always say, I read a lot of autobiographies and learn from people that have made it, that have become great and successful. When Bill Gates is saying that 99% or is it 90% of his finance is going into charity and maybe 1% is going to his children, go and learn why people like that are thinking that way. You pack everything and give it to your children so that they will not suffer. Says who? It is what is inside the person that sustains wealth, not all the things you pack for them. They will spend it and they will, God forbid, that will not be our portion. Our children will not be found wanting. But it's more important that you build and develop character in a child and then leave the future to God to help you. The same with those that will be looking for a girl. I hear all those things. If you don't have a girl child, you're in trouble. In your future, you will suffer. It's the girl that come back home to look after. Says who? There are a lot of girl children that don't even remember home. Train your boys to look after themselves, to cook, to clean, to be nice gentlemen. They will look after you. They will come back. They will do much more than a female child, cannot do. So please, let us borrow ourselves sense. All right. Peace and love.